everybody. A pleasure to have your company on the form for another week. And as we inch closer to Christmas, the good racing continues. We've got group racing out of Te Rapa. So, of course, we've got the full team back in to talk about all of the action. Aidan Rodley, Bevan Sweeney and Leith Innes. And this is what we'll be touching on. Starting, of course, with the feature out of Te Rapa, the Group 2 Isuzu Stakes. Then the Te Rapa undercard, including the Group 3 J-Swap Sprint and the Sky City Hamilton Waikato Cup. Heading to our racetrack is a couple of those to note this week. Then down south to our other domestic meeting on Saturday, Ascot Park, checking out the two main features down there and our best bets. While we got more of those home last weekend, let's hope for more this time. Our feature meeting is in the mighty Waikato, so as I say hello to you, Leith Innes, what weather are we going to be getting? Because I know there's a little bit of rain forecast. Yeah,
there certainly is a little bit of rain forecast for Friday at the moment. You know, the track's rated that sort of soft 5, the rail's in the true position, and the track, I talked to Andrew Castles and he said a little bit of rain will help the track. Okay, well let's have a look at what the weather and track conditions will come up for the group meeting. Let's take a look at the first feature, race number 4, and your favourite is Snazzy Tabby at $2.20 in the Cal Isuzu Stakes. Then you've got Campionessa at $4.20 and Bella Waters at $5.50. Let's take you back to her last win. It was the Group 1, of course, in the Livermore here on the track, and boy, she was just so good, Leith. She certainly was, Pip. Obviously, it was her first real test at Weight for Age, and look, she was aided by a really good Warren Kennedy ride from the outside gate, and she put paid to them. She was in front, you know, turning in. She won easy in the end. Like, that's Campionessa. She's a Group 1 horse, and look, El Vincador, the form out of the race is pretty strong as well, but what do you say? She loves Te Rapa, and Warren Kennedy's just got a great record with the horse as well. He's had 10 rides on her for 5 wins and 4 placings. Yeah, she's an outstanding horse. She's won 7 of 13, 4 from 4 at Te Rapa. Really eye-catching run that day from Hayo Sasbom, who's gone on to run 4th in the Auckland Thoroughbred Breeders' Stakes, beating home Campionessa again. Campionessa did win this race last year, then went on to win the Zabeel Classic as well. But she's going really well, Bevan. She's high class, and here's her trial as well, which says she's bang on ready for this weekend.
Oh, this is some trial, wasn't it? She cantered up to this field and she's left them standing over the 1,200 metres. Time wasn't overly slick, but she could have gone a lot quicker. I think if she'd been down at Trentham for the Group 1, you would have said she'd be winning there. So in a Group 2 at Weight for Age, you've got to say that you'd expect her to be winning here. Hayo Sasbom is a very smart horse and a good mare for Kim Reid, and has been going really, really well. Love what she did behind La Creek last time. And she just got held up behind Snazzy Tabby in that first replay. Had to come across heels, and Snazzy Tabby had the momentum up, and she had to gather herself. So she's a major player in the race. And, of course, Cambridge Stud have a couple of strong hands here with Bella Waters, the mare by Sacred Falls. Now, this is a run at Tauranga, of course, on a heavy track condition, but you can't knock this performance because it sat back, swooped up to them from back, and there was an injury issue in the mix here as well, Leith. I'm not sure where the ceiling for Bella Waters is. You'd probably know better than I, but you just can't knock a performance like this, having to pick them up from last and having a slight issue. Yeah, exactly, and that's Ladies' Man on the inside, who was a little bit unlucky, and he went on to win the Mufasa Mile last week. So, look, Bella Waters, she's improving. You know, she's definitely deserves a place in a Group 2 race. Can she beat Snazzy Tabby? Oh, probably not.
Yeah, and this is under handicap conditions where she was on the minimum. Now she goes to Weight for Age, but she's high class. She's a Rotorua Cup winner as well, so she's on the way up. But whether she can match those other 3 who are coming out of those Weight for Age races at Weight for Age just yet, I'm not 100% sure of that.
Yeah, big question, isn't it, Aidan? Well, let's see if we can get a guide from the connections, and we'll start with the co-trainer of your favourite, Snazzy Tabby, and Aidan just asked Graham Richardson how she is going into this.
She's definitely a little bit stronger this time in. I know it sounds crazy, but she's, you know, improved. Certainly got a bit more condition on her than she did last time. She's happy in herself, so that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, she has got the class factor, but she is first up at a mile in a tough field of fit horses. So, look, as long as she's basically having a run to get her fit, we thought 1,400 would just be too sharp for her first up. So, yeah, it's very much a run to get her going, but knowing that on class, and if things go right, she could get some of it.
If anything, she's a year older now, so she probably needed that run at counties a little bit. So she's got a good record at Te Rapa, so no, she should be in the mix for sure.
Yeah, really happy with her. Super first up, probably just a little bit unlucky. I think should have been right in it. Just got trapped a little wide, so she's come on nicely. Yeah, she's going super.
Yeah, I'm with Snazzy Tavi. She sort of picks herself. I know it's only a small field. She's drawn the outside gate and barrier 8, but I think Warren, he won't be too far off the speed, and she just loves Rapa, and I think she'll be winning on Saturday.
Yeah, the deeper I got into the form, the more apparent it was that she just might be one out of the box. She's just doing everything that's been asked of her. She's won an Easter handicap at 1,600 metres at this. She's coming in off 2 very good wins and that trial win we saw. She's a class factor for mine. She should be winning the Kalamazoo Stakes. Bevan here on the team.
But I think the thing with Snazzy Tavi is we just keep on seeing a lift in the bar every time we see it at the races, and that sort of does put the big red circle around Snazzy Tavi as a clear winning bet on Saturday. Can you say the thing about Kempionessa? She's getting older. Is she going to another level? I'm not 100% sure at the present moment. Hoyo Sasbom, I think, is taking steps, and maybe we have forgotten Reputation, who had a tough run behind La Creek at Counties, probably better than the market suggests around Reputation. But if there's one plane on the ascent, it is definitely Snazzy Tavi, Pip, and top selection in the Isuzu.
Yeah, absolutely, and that lethal combination. And if you want to catch all the action, we'll make sure you tune into your big Saturday from 11:30 a.m. on Trackside 1. We stay at Te Rapa and we check out the main focus on the undercard, and it is the Group 3 Sky City Hamilton Waikato Cup. Over the 2,400 metres, the Odyssey favourite at $5 and an open market. Kenny Rock at $6 along with Testify Me, and then you're getting out to SVR at $7.50 along with the Out of Stock at $8. Good field. Let's take you back to a key lead-in race here where you've got the Odyssey, Quality Time, Out of Stock. Leith, a handful to assess here. Who took your eye?
Look, it's a pretty hard sort of race to sort of watch. Obviously, RB lost its rider going out of the straight, so look, he got outside the lead. I think a few of these horses are forgive on the inside where they got ticketed up by the riderless horse, and the race was really set up for those back riders. Nereus out of the race, I still think Quality Time wasn't a bad effort. He was better than he had been, and I just think the Odyssey was stuck on the inside, and the track probably played a little bit off as well, Rod.
I tend to agree. The only thing about Quality Time is it was 53 kilograms in that Counties Cup, and now has to go up to 58 kilograms. That's not going to make it easy. SVR goes up 3, the Odyssey up 3.5, and Out of Stock, who backs up from a really good run at Ellerslie last weekend, only up 1 kilogram. Maybe he's a horse who's coming into this in the sweet spot at weights. But looking at that race in particular, I just really love what the Odyssey's doing, and I think he's a worthy favourite in the Cup this year, Bevan.
Completely with you. I think this horse is crying out for 2,400 metres and possibly further with a little bit more time. I think this is a really exciting staying horse. Kenny Rock, it'll catch your eye. Every time you watch Kenny Rock go around, you think next up, next up, next up. But the issue's becoming, he's just not getting the job done, but he's being really honest. He's trying his heart out. Of course, this over the 2 miles in the New Zealand Cup where Mezzabine was ridden a treat and got to probably the right part of the track. Can we back the horse to win on Saturday, team, with the recent record? I'm not questioning his honesty, but he's just not quite getting there in recent times, albeit putting up nice efforts.
Yeah, look, he was massive in the New Zealand Cup. The amount of work he done mid-race, he was pulling really hard, and for him to hold on for third, it was a really good effort. I think he gets back to Te Rapa, 2,400 is really going to suit him. He's sort of look, can he win the race? I don't know. I have him on my ticket, probably a top 4 play.
You can't rule him out. Jeez, and like you say, Lee, that was some sort of effort in the New Zealand Cup. Yes, it was a race where those on speed definitely had an advantage, but he just he did a lot of things wrong, and a lot of things went wrong from him in the race as well. But he's going okay. I can't be ruling him out, especially in this race, which we've got an 87 rated top rater. So maybe it is his chance to really put his hoof in the till. Let's have a look to another Taranaki visitor on the day, and to Testify Me, going back to the Wanganui Cup last time out, and this was a performance really good on the eye. Just love what we saw from this bloke late in the piece, Leith.
Yeah, he was massive. He's come home in the last 600. He ran 33.94 on a day where it was really hard to make ground as well. I think the best thing about Testify Me is he's won twice at Te Rapa, and it's the first time he's ever got up to a distance of 2,400 metres. I think he's going to love it.
Agree. This horse has a massive winning chance in this race. That was one of the runs of the day, on the day at Wanganui. Now, Whangahu's quality, we know that, and David Howarth horse Orlov has also got a fair bit of ability. Now, they got the runs. This horse had no opportunity really to get into the race from a mile off them and absolutely flew. Leith mentioned the section, it was incredible on the day for a staying race. So it'll get back, if there's decent sort of tempo in this race, which I expect they'll run along quite strongly, this horse will go very, very close to winning this particular race, and even a little bit of rain around will help for sure, Pip.
Yeah, you can already see that movement in the market as well, Sween, so people are agreeing with you. Well, let's again head back to some connections, and a horse we haven't mentioned yet is Nest Egg, and Aidan just asked his trainer Stephen Marsh how he is going into this.
Everything was perfect leading into going down to Riccarton, obviously rain affected tracks. He really needs a good deck to show his best. Took him up to Ellerslie to gallop, just to bring him on a little bit more. Beautiful track up there, and he just loved it. Like he's gone always good at Ellerslie. Hopefully the rain doesn't come for Saturday. Again, he's going to have to carry a decent enough weight, but blinkers go back on, and if the rain doesn't come, he'll be a big chance.
Yeah, he's always, run out his races pretty strong, and yeah, he seems to be building up and getting better, and I think he's sort of, he seems to be peaking a little bit, so we're looking forward to Saturday.
Yeah, really happy with him. Obviously, a couple of weeks ago, Counties Cup didn't really go to plan. Sort of buggered from coming out of straight, really, so sort of had to forget that. But really happy with how he's trained on since, and he's in a good frame of mind.
Really happy with him, mate. He's come back from Christchurch and had an easy week, and then he's done plenty of work since, and he's bright and happy. He's going to go to the race with fresh legs, and yeah, everything's good.
Well, it's probably the distance. I think that's the most exciting. He's just really looked like he's going to want that 1.5 miles, and stepping him out over it, which is, I think he's been wanting it, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, very happy with her. I mean, we had to kick her off over 1,300 metres. There was nothing else suitable, and although I think 9th in the book or something, but she's she's only a couple of lengths away from them, and then she's just progressed nicely through. It's we'd sort of, when we started, we'd sort of hoped maybe she'd run in the Counties Cup, but it just came up a race too soon. This at 2,400. I'd rather probably another 2,200 metres, but she's had the go in the Dunstan final, and she just ran the 2,400 beautifully. So I think we'll just back the fact that she stays well, and yep.
I just want to get her to settle. She raced in the Wanganui Cup and just overdid it a bit, so we've taken the blinkers off her. You just get her to settle and just hopefully run it out and see what she's like over 2,400.
Yeah, she's got that high cruising speed. She doesn't have a lot of a sprint, but if you can sort of get a nice soft sectionals early and then get up and going from the half mile, she'll definitely fight to the line.
Look, it's a pretty strong addition, the Sky City Waikato Cup. Testify Me, the Odyssey. Well, just a bit of timing about out of Vostok. His run at Ellerslie last week was massive on a slow speed. He run home, fastest sectionals in the race, and look, I know he's only a 2-win horse, but I think Chad's got him spot on for this week.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and one of those wins was a Group 3 Manawatu Classic as well, so it has to be pretty hard to beat for sure. However, I am going to go the Odyssey. Just really like the body of work, and I think this is a sweet spot. I think this is the race where we're going to see the best out of the Odyssey at 2,400 metres. Bevan, how'd you see it?
Nice race. First and foremost, I'll go with the local, probably showing my city bias, but I was really impressed with Testify Me. I like the fact it's won a couple at the course. I think it'll lap up 2,400 metres. It's sectional outstanding at Wanganui. So I think Matt Cartwright, Testify Me, Janelle Miller, who's been travelling a bit to get the Waikato Cup on Saturday.
Well, she certainly has, so good luck to her and everybody else in that. As we move on now to race number 6 on the program, it is the J Swamp Sprint at Group 3 level over the 1,400 metres. Jarfie, punters not put off by the wide draw, $5.50 into $4, your favourite. Wits End at $5.50, and then you've got Carmen Lyon, the only other runner in single figures, at $7 for Lance O'Sullivan and Andrew Scott. That's a look at how the market is playing. Let's take you back again to the key lead in here. We'll see Jarfie finish 5th in the breeders here behind La Creek, and very nice run considering didn't really get any gap up the home straight for a wee while there, Leith.
No, she's certainly one of those tough horses to ride. She pulls a bit hard, and look, every time Warren went to go in, one come inside him, so then he had to come out again. So look, you see her there, she got out late. Best part of her work was probably the last 200 metres where she really balanced up and hit the line late. She's drawn the outside gate this week, 14, so she's going to need a bit of luck in the running, and in a race it doesn't seem like there's an overly lot of speed in the race either.
Yeah, I really like what we saw from Jaffe, a horse who's got any amount of ability and just comes into this with a lot of form upsides. One negative is just that barrier draw. Warren Kennedy's going to have to work some magic there, but does drop 4 kilograms out of a really good Group 2 last time out and had been winning in the manner of a pretty promising one the start before. Bevan, how did you rate Jaffe in this?
Well, I basically agree with you that the only negative around this is the gate, and if Warren Kennedy can overcome that, then this horse can definitely win on just what we've seen last start. I thought the run behind Low Creek fantastic, and it was such a good win at Illas when they punted off the map, so clearly got a fair bit of ability. Rocker Baby, Uderzo, Mercurial, they all come into the race with a few bit of form. Recommend Rocker Baby is a horse who I thought was probably better on slightly rain-affected track conditions, but I've been really impressed with the way the mare by El Rocker just keeps on finding so strongly. This is in behind to Dazzled, and did have the run. I suppose that's the only thing that you would have expected to blow on by. Thought Uderzo battled pretty well with a pretty cosy sort of run as well. But look, can they beat a couple in this race? I'm not 100% sure. I think Jaffe definitely on top, but Rocker Baby, Uderzo and Mercurial left going well.
Yeah, they are. Rocker Baby's hitting some really good form. You've seen the step out to 1400 metres where she's drawn barrier 10. George probably just sit outside the leader maybe. Mercurial's been going really well. Obviously he's got the top weight though, but he never goes a bad race, and he's got a liking for Rapa as well.
And he'd be a horse who does build into his preparations. We've seen that in previous preparations as well. And when he does get to his best, and obviously he showed that last year, right through all those sprint races, he ran really well. He ran the railway, was fantastic, won a Telegraph. So that sort of form does stack up pretty well for him, especially fourth up into this race. But yeah, Rocker Baby's going really nicely. Those 2 second placings in the last 3 have both had upside. One we want to find out a little bit more from our panellist, Leith Innes, who's a part owner of Wits End. Has won 2 of 4 so far. He's a Savile 4-year-old gelding with a lot of upside. Tony Pike campaigning him in Sydney last preparation. Sam Weatherly back on today for the weekend at least, so do like that. Leith, what happened at Riccarton last time out? Can you make excuses?
Oh, there's always an excuse in the trainer's book. I just don't know if he was good enough. But look, he'd sort of done a bit of work from the outside gate, and look, to be fair, he stopped pretty quick though in the straight. I know the reports are he galloped at Rapa on Tuesday. He galloped really good. They're just going to ride him a little bit quieter, probably 3 back on the rails. Look, he's a young horse, he's still learning, but he's definitely a top sort of 3 chance.
A little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I think he's a bit like his own and needs to concentrate a fraction more at times, because he's clearly waiting at times and he's clearly not concentrating at times. But look, if he can get it soft in front, I certainly don't think he's out of this. So, I mean, it was a big mole at Riccarton. It's a big mole. It comes back to 1400 metres. I think there's some pretty positive about this horse. He's got a fair bit of ability, and look, he's going to go on with it in time.
He certainly is, and hopefully so for Leith and of course Bruce and all of them and the ownership. Right, let's head back to connections. We're going to start with Andrew Scott. They've got the 4 in the race, and Aidan just asked him to go through his runners, starting with Uderzo.
Yeah, he's going really well. 3rd up, and he's needed both runs. His work there this morning, we've done something different with him. Galloped him right-handed this morning because he goes pretty hard in his gallop, so we thought we'd do a little bit of trickery with him, and he galloped really well this morning. He gets round to Rapa well, and he's going to be pretty close.
Come in line?
Yeah, she badly needed a run there in the Concord, and she just peaked on a run, and now she's more out to a more favourable trip, her favourite trip, and yeah, she's gonna be much harder to beat second up. She's going well.
And a little bit of luck.
Yeah, he's another one, really happy hunting ground there to Rapa for him. And he went a cheeky race fresh up there in the 1200 metre sprint, up to a more favourable trip, down in the weights, and he will race well. Any jar out of the ground only brings him into it. Yeah, certainly a bit of a long shot there, each way value.
Yeah, look, he's worked up really good and he looks great. Again, he just needs all favours in the run.
Going really good. Mercurial, he's just taken a few runs to sort of get going again. Obviously going to have to carry top weight, which is never easy, but Opie in the saddle. Took him to Te Rapa yesterday for a gallop, and yeah, tongue-tied. I think he's going well. Yeah, I think she's a really good mare. Again, she went to Te Rapa as well yesterday. We just missed a little bit of work with her. She was meant to run at Ellerslie, but just sort of nicked the hind leg, just puffed up a bit. But so she's sort of a little bit behind in work-wise, but had a good gallop yesterday, Te Rapa. Had a light canter this morning. She's very well, and I think she's a really good mare, but she can never draw a good barrier. So praying for a good gate, and she's a real chance.
Yeah, look, he's come back from Christchurch in good order. Galloped at Rapa yesterday morning and worked very well. Look, he's just been doing a bit too much work trying to cross and lead in his races. Obviously, he's a talented galloper, and we'll probably just ride him a bit quieter on Saturday with obviously some nice races coming up for him through January and February.
Yeah, no, going real good at the moment. Yeah, doing everything right, and yeah, hopefully a bit of rain comes, might help him. And yeah, no, real good.
Yeah, so Petrucci's race in Wanganui was really good. On a day that did suit horses round that corner, they were off and gone, so her run was good. Gets in with a lightweight. What you wish for is a really progressive horse, and I think he's got a good win in him at some stages this year. 14, probably a bit sharp for him, but a race like the Rich Hill Mile will be a nice race.
No, he's good. He's fresh up back, and it's another one. It's hard to go into a stakes race for him. She trialled really nicely down at Taupo, but yeah, I think he'll take a run to come to it. Wasn't a lot of options around to start him in, but I think he's going to be a really good horse this season.
Yeah, a bit of insight there. Look, hopefully Witsian puts his hand up, but I just think Jaffe at the weights, 53 kilos. Look, she's going to need a little bit of luck from barrier 14. Does look like a little bit of tempo in the race, but yeah, I think Jaffe this week for me.
Yeah, best of luck to Leith with Witsian. Yeah, I was with Jaffe as well, but geez, I thought this was really even. There could be any which way you go for winners of this. It's a tough race, Bevan. Maybe you can shed some light.
Well, not really, to be honest with you, but I do like Carmen Line. I didn't mind its fresh out run behind the very smart Luberon clearly at the 1100 metres. I think 1400 metres suits better. Trying to get a really nice run in behind them, and Vinnie Colgan's riding really well, Pip.
And the stable on fire as well. Well, that's a look at all three group races out of Te Rapa. The last race we want to touch on is for the 3-year-olds over the 1200 metres, the Wentwood Grange, race number 2 on the programme. Damask Rose favourite at 270 from I'm All In at 370, and your mover has been Yaldi 480 into $4.50 for Andrew Forsman. Let's go back to Damask Rose. We'll see her at the trials, of course, at Taupō. Was beaten by a margin here, Leith, but just nicely to the line underneath Opie Bossett.
Yeah, Opie gave her a nice sort of easy time out at the trials. Look, she's a lightly race. She's only had the 3 starts, but she's been awesome in all the 3 runs. Obviously, a little bit tough, though. She's got the 59 kilos to carry, being a 3-year-old filly. Barrier 8. I wouldn't be surprised if she can win, but I just can't have her on my ticket this week.
We don't often see them, do we? We did see one at Trentham last weekend as well, a 3-year-old handicap. And you know, for that reason, Damastro's maybe not ideally placed, but it does mean that Opie Boston can hop on. Noseband goes on fresh up since seeing her in the Group 3 Gold Trail Stakes. And yeah, she ran a cracking race in the Karaka Millions last year. This is the horse they're talking about as being potentially the Tiako horse for the Kiwi. So that being in the case, you know, they've obviously got a really high opinion of her, Bevan.
Yeah, I've been hearing that behind the scenes as well. Damask Rose is the one. Well, that replay did show me, I think we want to be on Polly Plum fresh up. She's obviously flying, but look, there's going to be a progression to the Kiwi if this is the horse that's going to be on it. Opie Boston's aboard. There's a fair bit of positive factors around the Banks Road, but a lot about Leith, I'll just watch one. If she wins, I'll go, well, we know where she's definitely heading to in the future. Now, Yaldi's a really interesting horse in this particular race because they went over to Caulfield with a bit of confidence, Leith, and it was off the back of a trial that suggested Yaldi was absolutely fair dinkum flying, and clearly there was things going wrong there, but look, although he's niggled a little bit late to take out this trial, they didn't run quickly early. They've always thought one heck of a lot about this horse, and if he's at his best, he's hard to beat here.
Yeah, certainly. Look, I was at the trials that day at Pukekohe, and yeah, he's a beast. He's a lovely big type of a horse. He's strong. I thought his trial was really good as well. Best thing about him, 57.5 kilos, Michael McNabb sticks with barrier 3. I can just see him getting a nice cosy run just behind the leaders.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Yaldi. From what he did in his first preparation, wins on debut, runs 3rd in Melbourne in a listed race, comes back, trialled well. Didn't go so well in that McNeil Stakes, but the trials since have been very good. And as Leith said, he's a big, strong horse with a lot of future. So I thought Yaldi was very hard to beat here.
Yeah, look, there's certainly going to be a few people in there with the slot holders watching this race with a bit of interest. Damask Rose, I think she's really classy, but I just can't quite have her with the 59 kilos. Yaldi, 57.5, barrier 3, Michael McNabb for me this week.
Yeah, I was the same way. But I don't know if there's much between them, and I'm really interested to see how Omolin goes fresh up as well. But Yaldi, I really like him, Bevan. I think he's a progressive horse who we might see in some very big races later in his career.
No, I think we've got everything crossed that he comes out and performs on Saturday. I'm in agreement with you boys with Yaldi, but Demance Rose might just be one out of the box on what we saw at Hastings behind Alabama Lass and what the body of work prior to that was. So there's a real watch on this race, as everyone mentions, around the Kiwi.
Yeah, there really is. So it's whether or not you want to jump into the favourite or go with the guys and back Yaldi around 450. And don't forget too, if you are getting involved, well, you've got the bonus back on selected races out of not only Te Rapa but Caulfield and Randwick as well, back to third. So that's all available this Saturday, and the first race from Te Rapa on your big Saturday, 12:30. Time for the runners that have caught our eye in recent weeks. So Leith, we'll start with you. Who have you found?
Yeah, I'm going to take you to last Saturday at Ellerslie. Irish Legacy. Look, she's a 4-year-old mare, but I'm Invincible out of Shillelagh, the Group 1 winner. And the best thing about her was her race manners. Before the race, she was nice and calm. As a 3-year-old, she used to get a little bit fizzy. Riding Elliot, it was a pretty good ride. He knew what he had underneath him. He just sort of bided his time. And he got the splits late, and she just went bang, and she won pretty easy in the end. There's a race at Boxing Day, Robert Wellwood. They're just not quite sure what she's going to run in, but there is a couple options on Boxing Day, and just she could be a group horse in the making, I think.
Yeah, really impressive that day, especially late after sort of finding a bit of interference. I've only just managed to get through the trials from the past couple of weeks. I'm going to have a look at this one. Here's a Velvet Blues trial at Pukekohe, and a really nice performance, really not even stretched, not fully tested into this race. Had won the previous trial at Ruakaka in really good style. Just like the way that Velvet Blue hits the line. And I'm going to get you straight into the races because it does go around in the first of the program this weekend at Te Rapa as well. So hopefully the tracker can go straight to the races and win, Bevan.
Yeah, Irish Legacy, I don't think there's any doubt it's a group horse in the making. I think it's one of the better performances I've seen in a while, and the men is a lot better. I'm going to take you to Saturday out of Trentham, and the Prophet stepped up over ground for the first time on Saturday, given a peach by Sam Weatherly, but blew them off the racetrack. Second rated the field. Got a sneaking suspicion there might be a decent sort of cup race in this horse in time as it learns to even further improve with its manners, because it was on one rein for a fair period of time. But the Prophet looks pretty exciting for mine.
And I'm going to take you to Trentham as well. It was race number 2 on Saturday. Chad Elmsby's runner here, Beast of Burden. Taylor Mitchell initially decided to head down towards the rail. There was nowhere to go. She's had to bring the gelding back out, and he's really hit the line strong. He's run the fastest last at 6, 4 and 200 metres, and he was really eye-catching behind two nice horses in Semi So and Moet Down. So I think he is definitely one to follow and lives up to his name too, a beast of a horse. So here's a summary. Irish Legacy for Leith, Aiden, Velvet Blue, Bevan with the Prophet, and I'm with Beast of Burden. Make sure you pop them in your race trackers. We head down to the deep south for our second domestic meeting on Saturday. Aiden, Ascot is where we head to. What's the weather like down there?
Well, as we're recording this on a Thursday morning, just no update on the Love Racing website. Currently a good 3. I'd imagine it's going to get a little bit worse than that. There's obviously a fair amount of rain coming on Thursday, maybe even a touch on Friday. But it should be okay leading in, and I guess that's why they have left it in such good condition. Hopefully, we're sort of only just into the soft range come Saturday.
Yeah, fingers crossed, because let's have a look at one of the features. It's the Open over the 1,400 metres, the Howley Joinery Handicap, and the favourite, the Great Goose, in super form for Joanne Gordon at $3.80. Willis at $4.80, and then you've got the Radiant one at $5. That's how the market's playing. Let's take you back to the Grey Goose. She's had 2 starts for 2 wins at this preparation, Aiden, including this one here in the Winton Cup.
Yeah, both wins have been good. Now putting together a terrific record. She's won 6 of her 16 starts. Rohan Badu was aboard for this win, sticks again, but goes up 4.5 kilograms. Runner-up, the Good Shepherd, goes up 3.5 from out that race. Fiery Red stays the same weight. Willis, who runs third, up 1.5 kilograms. Willis actually quite eye-catching late too. Wasn't a bad effort. Not a bad form race, and the Grey Goose is putting together a lovely record, Lee.
Yeah, she certainly is a 5-year-old mare now, but reliable mare. And look, her manners, racing manners have got a lot better as well. Early on in her career, she was a little bit green. Look, like you said, 55.5 kilos. She jumps to 60 kilos this week. probably just a fraction short for my odds.
I'm going to have a look at Inflamed. This is also I did make my best on the form on this day. Unfortunately, just didn't quite get all favours. You look at the run here, and you see Inflamed in the trail with Ruvanesh Muniandi. He's looking for clear running, just doesn't get any. In the end, it was unlucky. Potentially could have closed it off a little bit better, but again, there is just no run. And prior to that, the form had been rock solid. Had run 7th in a Stewards and beaten home one of the key rivals in the Radiant one. So I'm just not too sure of what to make of it, Leith. I'm going to be playing the forgive card. I'm going to give Inflamed another chance. How about you?
Yeah, I certainly think the step up to 1400 metres is really going to help Inflamed as well. And probably she got out a little bit earlier. She may have gone close to winning as well. And like she's well weighted at 54.5 kilos this week.
Yeah, senior jockey goes on. So I think that's key. I'm going to stick with Inflamed as my bet in the race. I know I got burnt last time out, team, but I'm going to stick with Inflamed here, especially from barrier 1. Maybe there's trouble that could happen again, but senior jockey on, I think that's a good point. Leith, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go the Radiant one. Look, I know she's only won the 4 races, but she's beautifully weighted at the weights here, 57 kilos, barrier 4. Kylie Williams is in great riding form at the moment as well.
Okay, so that's what the guys are liking in the 4th, the Open. Now let's move on to race number 6. This is the Rating 88 over the 2,200 metres. Favourite, Theoden at 4.40 from Smooth Operator at $5. Ears back at 6s, and then you've got runners like CRL at $8, and it's the first runner that we want to take a look at. We'll take you back to the last start win, and it was a good run, Aidan, because was held up for a little bit there, turning in for home.
Yeah, it was just pocketed, and once out, really closed off. Theoden's the horse out wide, who's just starting to come into it. Wasn't a bad effort as well, and obviously in between them, Lovelock, who looks to probably get an uncontested lead in this, depending on what they do with Ears back in the race. So not a bad form line. Leave It To Me's been going okay, finishes into 5th spot, but CRL's going well. Lovelock's got upside, and so does Theoden. Leith, how did you see this as a form leader?
Yeah, pretty good form race. Very great ride by Terry Mosley. Saved all the ground on the inside, and she's another one. She gets in store for that great weight, 54 kilos on Saturday as well.
Can I have a look at Burgee? I thought maybe a touch disappointing last time out, but again, a horse who was just looking for a run back on the inside. We take you back a couple of starts to this run. This was in the TAB Mile at Riccarton, and obviously beats home Ears back in this race, who finishes into 10th spot. We know Burgee's got the ability, has been a stakes winner of a breeder stakes at Riccarton in the past, a winner of 4 of 32, but I'm not too sure. I just want to see more from her, and I just haven't seen it in this preparation. So, Leith, I'm not too sure what you're making of Burgee.
Yeah, Burgee, look, the best Burgee would come out and probably go close to winning this race. I'm just not sure if her form's as good as it has been in the past. Look, big weight, 59 kilos. She has got a nice draw in barrier 3 where she should get a nice run just behind the leaders though.
Yeah, the one we haven't spoken about is Smooth Operator, who's won the last couple and comes into this in good order, but I'm going to go to Theoden. Just like the fact that this horse is dropping 4 kilograms out of that key form race that we saw at CRL, so meets CRL 3.5 kilograms better, and also meets the others slightly better. So I just think at the sweet spot, Theoden, after 3 runs back, 4th up, should be very close to winning the Southland Crystals.
Yeah, I found a little bit of an outsider, Humbucker. Look, he comes into this 4th up. He's going to be fit. He's got a beautiful draw in barrier 2, and Kylie Williams, like I said, she's riding great at the moment.
Well, we love a little bit of value on the form, and don't forget too, you've got this to back into the odds search. You can get even more meat on the bone, and that's across all races this Saturday, so get involved with the TAB.
4 is now 4th. Midnight Brocky got spat out the back, but Mercy will kick the goal, and race 6 wins well.
It's the Prophet surging to the lead with 100 metres to go. Masso from the back running on, but the Prophet has raced away.
Interplanetary's coming after it and out wide. Chevelle Boutique and also Diamonds for Jen. Interplanetary, the good thing for the day, races away for the win.
Nice to get some best bets home last weekend. Let's hope for some more. Leith, we'll start with you. Who's your best for the weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to take to Wellington on Sunday, Pip. Race 7, Scouser. Last start, the mare pulled up for a little bit of a heart flib, so just to put a line through that, and previous run was awesome at Tauranga, and her form when she won at Rotorua. Look, the big roomy track's going to really suit this Cody Cole trained runner.
Yeah, looks on the cusp of something for sure. I'm going to take you to the feature of the weekend, the Isuzu Stakes, and just stick with Snazzy Tavi. 4 from 4 the track. Last start Group 1 winner. Trial leading into this was superb. Winner of 7 of 13. I just have to be on side in the Isuzu Stakes. Bevan, how about you?
I'm going to take you to Sunday as well, and Fats, who was at 1600 metres at Wanganui on a leader-dominated race and flew home really strong. He sets up over ground on Sunday out of Trentham for the Manawa 2 team, and look, he's heading to a Remuntaka Classic or a race like this, and I think he's primed to win. And as we come to you, Pip, a couple of notable missions in that winners VT.
Yeah, certainly is. And I'm going to Tauranga, race number 4, Mad Max. He was my race tracker a couple of weeks ago here. Thought he was very eye-catching, flying into second. Opu Bosson jumps aboard for Andrew Forsman. Comes up with a soft gate as well over the 1200 metres. Just a little bit worried about how heavy that track may get with the rain forecast, but hopefully it doesn't get too bad there. That's the summary of our best bets. On with Mad Max, Aiden Snazzy Tavi in the feature of the weekend. Rosso with Shades of Space at Whanganui on Friday night, race number 5. The Wales jumping in with He's a Sweetie at Alexandra Park on Friday. Bevan with Fats on Sunday for your fill-up there, and Leith with Scouser. And that's all the time we've got on the form again. Hopefully we've found you plenty of winners, and we'll catch you all back next week.